The last time I weighed myself, I was 94 kilos, so I'm about 3 pounds away from reaching my goal weight for this challenge, which is to lose 10 kilos in 1 month. And yes, that means that I have been doing keto for more than just 1 month now. The reason why? It's because I started this challenge at the beginning of November. But before we talk about my progress, let me first tell you what I eat in a day. I keep things very simple when it comes to my daily routine. As soon as I wake up, I go straight to the kitchen to grab some water. You can also grab some coffee if that's your thing. But for me, I prefer to stick to water first thing in the morning. This helps to get things moving down under, especially after not drinking anything for several hours while I was asleep. After having some water, I usually walk for about 20 minutes. I like to take this time to clear my head and think about the day ahead. If you don't have time to squeeze in a quick workout first thing in the morning, I highly recommend that you go for a walk. A lot of people say that they don't have time to exercise, but most people do have time to go for a walk. Plus, going for a walk can already be considered a workout. For breakfast, I usually have eggs with cheese. My favorite way to prepare eggs is by making an egg muffin. An egg muffin is basically eggs baked in a muffin tray. You can add whatever you want to these eggs, such as cheese or meat, and since I'm not a fan of vegetables, I just stick to adding cheese. Here's how you make an egg muffin. Get yourself a muffin tray. Crack the eggs into the tray, add the cheese, then bake them in the oven until they are firm. For me, I like to add cheddar cheese, but feel free to use whatever cheese you want. And if you don't want to use cheese, you can also add other ingredients such as meat or veggies. For lunch, I usually eat leftovers from dinner. I rarely eat out, so I don't really spend much time thinking about what to eat for lunch. For a snack, I sometimes have pork rinds. Pork rinds are a keto staple. I believe pork rinds are made from pork skin, so technically you can call them pork chips. I love eating pork rinds. They are crispy, crunchy, and salty. There are many brands of pork rinds available, but my favorite ones are the ones made by Jack Link's. These taste better than any other brand of pork rinds, in my opinion. And finally, for dinner, I try to eat as late as possible. I know a lot of people who try to eat earlier in the evening, but for me, I like to eat later. I usually go to bed around midnight, so I try to eat dinner at around 10 p.m. My favorite dinner to eat is salmon with cream cheese. It doesn't require a lot of preparation. All you need to do is pop the salmon fillet into the microwave and heat it up. Then take out the salmon and place the cream cheese on top. There you have your meal. Simple and easy. One of the toughest parts of sticking to a diet is resisting cravings. Cravings are a normal part of any diet, so don't beat yourself up if you give in to them every now and then. Even I have given in to sugar cravings quite a few times during this challenge. One of the most common cravings I get is a craving for chocolate. There was one time when I was feeling really low, so I went to the grocery store to cheer myself up, and guess what? I bought an entire bar of dark chocolate. I felt good for a few seconds after buying the chocolate bar, but then I felt guilty. Once I got home, I tried to convince myself not to eat the chocolate bar, but the voice in my head just kept telling me to eat it, so I did. I ate the entire chocolate bar within 1 minute. And do you know what happened next? I didn't experience any blood sugar spikes. Usually, after eating chocolate, I would feel super energetic, almost like I was high on sugar. But this time I didn't feel anything. It was weird. That experience made me realize that even if you have sugar cravings while doing keto, you won't gain weight from it. Another tough part about doing keto is dealing with people who don't understand your diet. Whenever I go out to eat with friends or family, I always have to deal with people asking me why I'm not eating carbs. I usually just tell them that I'm trying to lose weight. Sometimes I even tell them that I have diabetes. Some people will still try to convince you to eat something with carbs, but just politely tell them no. You might be wondering how much I exercise each week. Well, the answer is not much. I only exercise twice a week. Most of the weight loss results that I've seen were just from the food that I eat. Of course, exercising regularly will speed up the process of losing weight. So if you already have an active lifestyle, then good for you. But don't feel bad if you don't exercise much like me. I've received a lot of questions about whether or not I take any supplements. In short, I only take 2 supplements, Omega-3 South and multivitamins. I took these supplements long before I started doing keto. Omega-3 South are great for brain health and multivitamin supplements help fill nutritional gaps. You might also be wondering if I drink alcohol. I only drink alcohol occasionally. I drank quite a bit of alcohol in November, but I cut it out completely once December rolled around. Alcohol contains a lot of empty calories, so if you really want to lose weight, it's best to stay away from alcohol. So now let's talk about my progress. When I started this challenge, I weighed 104 kilograms. That's 22 pounds. At the time, I was 31 years old and I was overweight. Now I'm 32 years old and I'm 94 kilograms, which is 204 pounds. This means that I have lost 10 kilograms of weight in 1 month. Now, you might be wondering if this is all muscle loss. Well, the answer is no. I haven't lost muscle. In fact, I've actually gained some muscle. I'm currently at 78 kilograms of lean body mass. That's 1 kilogram more than I had in November. What this means is that I have lost 11 kilograms of fat mass. That's over 20 pounds of pure fat loss in just 1 month. A lot of people don't believe that this is even possible. They will tell you that this kind of weight loss is unhealthy. But trust me, I've done a lot of blood work, and I have checked with my doctors, and there are no signs of nutrient deficiencies. All of my lab work looks perfect. I'm also sleeping well, and I'm full of energy, so please don't listen to the haters. Some people will also say that I'm too young to be overweight. To those people, I say nonsense. Being overweight doesn't have anything to do with age. There are plenty of skinny 20-year-olds and fat 20-year-olds. As for the haters who claim that I'm photoshopping my pictures, I understand where they're coming from. Unfortunately, there are many fake transformations online, so if you see someone claiming to be in shape, but they look like they 500 pounds overweight, it's probably a fake transformation. But I promise you that I am being honest. I've never photoshopped any of my pictures. Some people will also ask me if I plan to start exercising more now that I've lost weight. And to them I say, why bother? I don't plan to start exercising just yet. I'm going to enjoy being lazy for a little while. Of course, I will eventually get back into exercising, but not now. Other people will ask me if I will maintain my weight loss. I usually just laugh whenever I hear this question because it's such a stupid question. Of course I'll keep the weight off. I'm not planning to gain weight. And finally, let's talk about my meals. I posted my exact meals on another platform. If you want to see exactly what I eat, then check out the link below. Thank you guys for watching this video. I hope my story has inspired you to lose weight. And remember, even if you fall off the wagon, just get right back on it. Don't give up.